They always ask the same question. Why am I still struggling? Why am I still broke, even though I work harder than everyone else? And I always answer the same way. Because it's never the big decisions that destroy people. It's the invisible habit they repeat every single day without even noticing. A habit so small, so ordinary, so deeply baked into modern life that most people never question it. Charlie Munger warned us about it for 50 years, but we were too distracted, too emotional, too addicted to comfort to listen. You want to know why 90% of people stay poor? It's not lack of opportunity. It's not intelligence. It's not education. It's this one silent habit that compounds in the wrong direction. A reverse engine of compounding. A parasite that eats your future before you even earn it. And the tragedy? You think you don't have this habit, but you do. You've been feeding it since you were a teenager. It's been quietly pulling money out of your pocket, your bank account, your investments, your dreams piece by piece, day by day, while you convince yourself you're being responsible. Munger had a phrase for it. He said, "The chains of habit are too light to be felt until they are too heavy to be broken." And this one habit becomes a chain around your entire financial life. You don't notice it at 20. You ignore it at 30. You justify it at 40. And by 60, it owns you. You want to know the habit? The habit that keeps people poor? It's the instinct to spend money as a reflex instead of a strategy. The automatic spending, the emotional spending, the convenience spending, the I deserve it spending. The tiny leaks that don't feel like a big deal until they become the whole ocean. You see, wealth isn't built from what you earn. It's built from what you keep. But you were never trained to keep anything. You were trained to spend everything. Every paycheck becomes a reward. Every raise becomes an upgrade. Every bonus becomes a celebration. Your lifestyle expands faster than your bank account. And the richer you feel, the poorer you become.
Munger used to shake his head at this. He said, if people simply stopped making dumb daily decisions with their money, they'd be rich almost by accident. But they don't stop. They can't stop because spending has become their emotional coping mechanism. Stress? Spend. Bored? Spend. Lonely? Spend. Tired? Spend. Happy? Spend more. You build habits on autopilot, and your autopilot is programmed for financial suicide. Munger knew this. Buffett knew this. All the silent millionaires who never flash their wealth know this. Money isn't about math. It's about behavior, and behavior is about habits. And habits decide your destiny long before you realize what they've done to you. So today, I'm going to show you the psychology behind that habit, how it forms, how it destroys you, how it compounds backwards, and how to break it before it breaks you. Because if you don't fix this one habit, nothing else matters. Not investing, not budgeting, not working harder, not earning more. You cannot out-earn a broken behavior. And that's why 90% of people die in the same financial position they were born into. Charlie Munger warned us. Almost nobody listened. But you are listening now, which means your story doesn't have to end the same way. And maybe the saddest part, most people don't even realize they're doing it. They wake up, go to work, chase a paycheck, buy something small to feel better, scroll through their phone for a little dopamine hit, and then lie awake at night wondering why their life isn't changing. They think the problem is their job, their country, their luck, their parents, the economy, anything but their habits. Charlie used to say something brutal. If you keep doing what you've always done, you'll keep getting what you've always gotten. And he wasn't wrong. Most people don't rise. They repeat. They repeat their spending patterns. They repeat their excuses. They repeat their emotional reactions to money, and then they get shocked when their results don't magically transform. Imagine someone pouring water into a bucket full of holes. It doesn't matter how fast they pour, the bucket will always stay empty. That's what a bad money habit does to a person's life. It drains their future faster than they can fill it. Charlie told Buffett once, "The first $100,000 is big, but you must do it." Why? Because that's the moment the habit flips. That's the moment you stop surviving and start compounding. That's the moment life stops happening to you and starts happening for you. But here's the uncomfortable truth nobody wants to say out loud. You can't build wealth if you're addicted to comfort. You can't save money if you're addicted to impulse. You can't invest for the future when you're constantly trying to escape the present. People don't stay poor because they lack intelligence. They stay poor because they lack the discipline to delay gratification. Charlie knew this. Buffett knew this. Every wealthy person knows this. When the average person gets extra money, they upgrade their lifestyle. When a disciplined person gets extra money, they upgrade their assets. One is trying to look rich. The other is quietly becoming rich. And the most painful part, most people won't change this habit until life forces them to. They wait for a job loss, a medical emergency, a crisis, a breakdown. They wait until the pain of staying the same becomes greater than the pain of changing. But the people who win, the people Charlie and Buffett admired, they don't wait for pain. They build the habit before the crisis comes. They choose discomfort now, so life becomes easier later. Charlie used to say, "The world is full of foolish gamblers, and they will not do as well as the patient investor." The gambler wants excitement. The patient one wants results. The gambler wants the feeling of winning. The patient one wants the reality of winning. The gambler makes emotional decisions. The patient one builds emotional discipline. And if you look around, you'll notice something almost scary. The world is designed to keep you distracted, impulsive, and broke. Apps are designed to addict you. Ads are designed to tempt you. Banks are designed to trap you. Credit cards are designed to enslave you. It's not a conspiracy. It's business. That's why Charlie said, the first rule of compounding is to never interrupt it unnecessarily. But most people interrupt it every single day, not with one big mistake, but with 1,000 small ones. A coffee here, a subscription there, a small impulse buy, another distraction, another delay, another future sacrificed for a moment of pleasure. And here's the part that hits the hardest. Wealth isn't built by doing huge things. It's built by doing small things consistently for a long time, while everyone else looks for shortcuts. Charlie knew the secret. Buffett mastered it. And now it's your turn to decide whether you'll follow the pattern that keeps 90% poor or the habit that sets the 10% free. And here's where everything begins to shift. Not when you make more money, not when you find a better job, not when the economy improves, but the exact moment you confront the truth that Charlie Munger tried to hammer into every young mind he ever met. The chains of habit are too light to be felt until they are too heavy to be broken. Most people don't feel the chain. They think they're choosing their spending. They think they're enjoying their lifestyle. They think they're living for today. But in reality, the chain is already wrapped around their future, slowly, silently, tightening every day. And then one day, they wake up and realize they're not making choices anymore. They're trapped inside them. Charlie once said something so uncomfortable that even Buffett admitted it felt harsh. Most people don't have money problems. They have behavior problems. Because the hidden truth is, you can't earn your way out of bad behavior. You can't raise your income high enough to outrun your impulses. You can't get rich if your habits are designed to make you poor. And this is where the 10% break away from the 90%. The 10% don't have perfect discipline. They don't have magical willpower. They simply understand one thing the others don't. Remove the bad habit, and the good habits build themselves. They stop trying to force discipline and start removing temptation. They stop trying to be strong and start trying to be smart. They stop relying on motivation and start relying on structure. And suddenly, everything starts compounding, not just money, but identity. Charlie used to laugh when people asked him, "How do I get rich fast?" He said, "The world is not yet a crazy enough place to reward a bunch of undeserving people." And he meant it, because real wealth is a character transformation long before it becomes a bank balance. It's what happens when you finally tell yourself, "I'm done being owned by my impulses. I'm done repeating the same excuses. I'm done sabotaging the future version of me. I'm done being part of the 90%. That moment, that internal rebellion, is more powerful than any income increase, any investment plan, any opportunity. Because once you change your habit with money, you change your relationship with life. You stop asking, "What can I buy?" and start asking, "What can I build?" You stop thinking, "How do I feel right now?" and start thinking, "Who do I become in 5 years?" You stop living like a consumer and start living like an investor of money, time, energy, discipline, identity. And if you stay long enough on this path, something beautiful happens. The same habit that once kept you poor becomes the habit that makes you unstoppable. Because compounding is not a financial strategy. It's a lifestyle, a way of thinking, a way of choosing, a way of living intentionally while the rest of the world drifts aimlessly. And the more you practice it, the more life opens up. Suddenly, you're not stressed when the unexpected happens. You're prepared. You're not chasing trends. You're studying principles. You're not thinking about survival. You're thinking about freedom. And freedom, Charlie believed, wasn't about yachts or mansions or private jets. Freedom was simply the ability to wake up in the morning and not be afraid of the bills coming tomorrow. He once said, "The goal is not to be smart. The goal is to avoid being stupid." And maybe that's the final twist the 90% never grasp. Wealth isn't built by genius. It's built by avoiding the behaviors that destroy it. And this is the part nobody tells you. The moment you begin removing that one, destructive money habit, the moment you stop leaking your future through tiny emotional decisions, life doesn't suddenly get easier. At first, it actually gets harder because your old self doesn't die quietly. It fights. It tempts you. It whispers, "Just this once." It reminds you how good it felt to escape your stress with a purchase, a meal, a little pleasure. It tries to pull you back into the warm, familiar comfort that kept you broke. Charlie understood this battle better than anyone. He said, to get what you want, you have to deserve what you want. And deserving is painful. It means doing the right thing when nobody's watching. It means watching your friends waste money while you stay disciplined. It means listening to people call you boring, cheap, too serious, while you quietly build a future they can't even imagine. Buffett once joked that the reason compounding works is because no one believes it at first. And he was right. Because in a world that worships instant gratification, slow success looks like failure until it doesn't. And then something unexpected happens. The stress begins to fade. The anxiety begins to loosen its grip. You look at your bank account and finally, it doesn't scare you anymore. A small cushion grows, then a bigger one. Then investments start working for you instead of you working for them. Momentum kicks in, compounding takes over, and that's when the magic finally begins. You realize the habit wasn't just about money. It was about identity. It was about stepping out of the 90% and into the rare group of people who live with intention instead of impulse. People who build their lives instead of distracting themselves from it. That's when you finally understand what Charlie meant when he said, the big money is not in the buying and selling, it's in the waiting. Waiting is hard when you don't have discipline, but waiting becomes powerful when you do. Waiting becomes a weapon. Waiting becomes a strategy. Waiting becomes the quiet engine that pushes you ahead while everyone else burns out. And then, one day, without a dramatic moment, without fanfare, without applause, your life simply feels different. You stand in a grocery store and you're not calculating every dollar. Your phone buzzes with a bill notification and your stomach doesn't drop. Your car breaks down and you don't panic. You solve it. You dream about your future and, for the first time, it feels possible. That one habit, the habit 90% never fix, transforms everything. Not because it makes you rich overnight, but because it puts you back in control. Most people never get that feeling. They stay stuck in the same loop, year after year, paycheck after paycheck, excuse after excuse. They tell themselves stories about someday, while that day never comes. But you, if you're hearing this, you already know too much to go back. You've seen behind the curtain. You've realized that wealth isn't a miracle. It's a method. And when you practice the method long enough, when you stay patient, when you stay disciplined, when you stop gambling and start compounding, life rewards you quietly. Then suddenly, the people around you won't even notice the change until it's too late. They'll say you got lucky. They'll say you had connections. They'll say you found the right opportunity. But you'll know the truth. It wasn't luck. It wasn't timing. It wasn't magic. It was the one habit Charlie Munger begged the world to learn. The habit that keeps 90% of people poor and sets the other 10% free. And here's the part where the story finally comes full circle. Because after years of discipline, after years of choosing long-term rewards over short-term temptation, after years of walking a lonely road that almost nobody around you understands, something profound happens. You look back at the person you used to be, the one controlled by impulses, the one who bought things to feel better for 5 minutes, The one who lived paycheck to paycheck because society told them it was normal, and you almost don't recognize them anymore. You realize you didn't just change your bank account. You changed your mind. You didn't just build savings. You built strength. You didn't just learn how money works. You learned how you work. And that's when Charlie's philosophy finally clicks in a way that hits deeper than any motivational speech, any finance book, or any viral video ever could. Wealth is not the reward. Wealth is the side effect. The real reward is becoming the kind of person who can handle wealth calmly, wisely, with patience, with clarity, without fear.